Cool, cool. So, what I'm gonna go over, and I kind of obviously I speak to a lot of you guys. I see a lot of you guys in the office, and I kind of just I'm very very observant in what people may be struggling on and what they could do better at, or what I see we haven't gone over. All right. So, what I feel we haven't gone over, or maybe trained you guys about, is one of the 7 steps when it comes to network marketing or being a network marketing pro. Now, for those that have done their studying, Bar, Melando, and Sammy, you guys are not involved, and LA. What are the 7 steps to network marketing, guys? Can you put it in the chat? What are the 7 steps that you need to get very, very good at and understand when it comes to network marketing? Okay, so we've got inviting, that's one skill. We've got promoting, presenting, that's 3 skills so far. Prospecting, right, that's 4. Closing's 5, and there's 2 more, guys. Edification, that's 6. Nope. One more we're missing. And it's so funny how it's the last one because most of you guys are not doing it. You don't understand it. This is the last one, and you lot are lacking. Not one person said it yet. No, we've already said promoting. Let's just see if you lot can actually come up with this one. That's actually funny. That is actually funny. Ada, Ada. Follow-ups. That is what we are going to cover today. Following up. Most of y'all don't understand following up. You don't know how to follow up. You don't know what is following up clearly because we didn't say it. All right. So today I'm going to go over, and it's actually in step 4 of close of sorry, the steps. All right. So following up is step 4. Okay, so the first is obviously inviting. Second is obviously present. Well, it's different orders, but when I went through the training, following up is normally the 4th skill. All right, so let me just share my screen. And I'm going to do some whiteboard entertainment. All right, so cool. So when it comes to following up, guys, this is where you guys may have heard this saying before. The fortune is in the follow-up. All right. I was told this from the very, very start. The fortune is in the follow-up. So many of you, and going through like my DMs now at this point, there's so many customers or so much money that you guys have in your DMs, in your phone book, but you just haven't followed up the process. That person might have said no straight away, and automatically you put them at the back of your mind. You might have deleted them off your VIP list, and you've absolutely forgotten about them, not realizing following up is actually where the money is made. Now you're going to get most scenarios where the fortune's in a follow-up, and then you got the other scenario where you got to go make a fortune and then follow up. So now we're doing what we're doing now. Everybody wants to now follow. Everyone now wants to follow up with me because we're not doing what we was doing a couple of years ago. So at first, guys, you are going to have to follow up. The fortune's in the follow-up, but then sometimes you got to make a fortune, and then it normally does reverse the tables. All right. So look, at the end of the day, guys, when it comes to this business, I need you guys to understand that most people need time for things to settle in. Most people need time for things to sink in. All right. When I came, obviously, when I quit the industry and I gave the industry a break in May 2022, it gave Chris, I'd already know about the industry. I'd already made money in the industry. I already believed in the industry. It took Chris probably 5 or 6 exposures of him to a borderline. I remember he was actually annoying me. Like I got kind of annoyed with how many times he followed up. But on the 6th or 7th time, it had sunk in enough where now I was ready to actually go and meet him and to be open-minded. Now, what I want to do is I want to quickly draw something that I want you guys to understand when it comes to how people are when it comes to following up. All right. So this is a clock. All right. It's a clock analogy, but I want you guys to really, really understand what I'm saying with this. All right. So let's just say, right, this is 3 p.m. Okay. So we're at 3 p.m. Most people in this section, guys, when you reach out to them about an opportunity, they are they're aware of something that they don't like in their lifestyle. All right, so they've come across something that they don't like. They may realize, you know what, I've got a paycheck cut or something's happened, but not many people know about it. Right? Not many people know about it. They're kind of focused on something that not many people know about, but they really want to focus on getting this thing done. So when you reach out to them about making money, just because you're done and you're in and you're bought into the vision, they're not interested right now. They want to focus on. And when Chris reached out to me, I think at the time I was just focused on my fitness. So I was focusing on football. I was focusing on the gym and making money or back in this industry this way was not something that was at the forefront of my mind personally. All right. Most people are not interested, but you planted the seed. Now, where you guys go wrong is you reach out to most of your prospects that have never heard of trading, don't know about trading, never made money from trading, don't know anyone, don't even know if it's real. And because they say no, you get upset. And this is where, as well, guys, I find this a lot easier than trading. Most of you guys really want to focus on trading, but this actually, right? I can understand why you guys are maybe not as disciplined and you don't have patience with trading because this actually requires less patience than trading. But because we don't understand how this works, your first perception when people say no is, all right, they're off my list. I'm never going to shout them again. Delete my. That's what I did when I first started. When all my friends, I got started, I got so excited. I went to all my friends. I said, oh my days, we're going to make it out. I found a way to make it out. Everyone said no. I said, don't speak to me again. You're not serious about making money. You're just not, we're not alike anymore. You've changed, right? We're not, like, you was lying to me the whole time about making money. That was my perception because I didn't understand it. Okay. You then now have people that are at the 6 p.m. Okay. They're at 6 p.m. on the clockwork. Okay. This is where now, whatever it is they was going through, all right, where other people are now aware of it. Okay, so you now may be aware of the fact that they may have lost their job. Other people in their family are aware that they may not have money, right? And this is when they're kind of scrambling for certain solutions. They're scrambling, or what am I going to do next? What am I going to do with whatever it may be? Okay. They're kind of scrambling for opportunities. So this is where now, again, if you'd had followed up during this period, because you don't know when they're going to fall into this period, guys. All you can be in control of, and I'm going to go speak about this at the end. All you can be in control of is how many times you expose and how often you expose and expose from another exposure. Okay. When people are in this phase, they can say yes, but again, you've already planted the seed. Now they've realized, okay, I'm actually in a bigger situation than I thought. My way of doing things clearly didn't work. But I remember when Josh shouted me a month ago when he was talking about making money, and now I'm actually interested in making money. Okay. 9 p.m. until let's just say noon. This is the period here, guys, where most people say yes to the opportunity. This is where it's now obvious they need to change. This is where they're more open to starting opportunities. This is where it all makes sense. Where you followed up months ago, it now makes sense because I wasn't interested in making money. Yes, I've got a few bills. Yes, I've got a few debts. Yes, I'm not happy with work. I've just realized now 3 p.m. is when people now maybe just realize maybe work isn't for me. Maybe a 9 to 5 life isn't for me. 6 p.m. is now they're scrambling. Okay, I need to get out my 9 to 5. 9 p.m. is now they've realized the opportunities here. Let me work towards getting out my 9 to 5. Most of you probably have gone around this clockwork, or on the other hand, most of you may have said yes straight away. So because you said yes straight away, it doesn't mean everyone else should. But if you think that way, you're going to actually shoot yourself in the foot, guys. You're either going to burn relationships or you're just going to burn the prospect. So please, please, please understand this cycle. This here is where you follow up with people. Now, when it comes to following up people, I know we say to people, look, general exposures, right? We say general exposures is anywhere from, we normally say, let's just say 5 to 7, right? But this is in person. I need you guys to understand this, right? In person, most people you need to expose it 5 to 7 times roughly. Okay. 5 to 7 times in person. So you may meet someone on I don't know, you may go out for a coffee, you may go to a dinner, whatever it may be. They've come to the office, they've come to an event, they've had 5 or 6 or 7 exposures. That is when most people in person want to actually give this a go. Now, our main game plan, once you've gone through your warmness, guys, is social media. I need you guys to understand, right? When it comes to social media, you're looking at anywhere from 15 to 30 exposures. Now, some of you don't have a brand on social media. Some of you have just started your TikTok account. Some of you have just started your Instagram account. Why do you feel like your account or you are worthy of an absolute stranger coming to your page and you being the person that they feel they're going to buy into? Like generally, look at your page. Respectfully, look at your page, look at your TikTok, look how long you've been doing this. Why on earth do you feel someone would DM you or someone would say yes to you after you DM them? Like, I don't know why we're so naive to think that people are just going to wait for you to start your TikTok account and automatically you're going to say yes, guys. Okay. Now, if you guys could break down the word exposure, if you lot could say to me, throw some words out there of what you think exposure actually means. When I say exposure, do you guys know what I mean by exposure? If you put in a chat what you think I mean by when I say an exposure. Okay. Reveal. What else? Educate. Sherelle hit it on the head, right? It doesn't even need to go any further, right? Anything to expose, anything to educate the prospect. Educate, right? Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but next week from Monday, we are doing a free trial for every scanner in the platform. So every educator has a certain day where they go through the scanner. That is another reason for you to reach out to your prospects and expose them. Unless you're blocked, guys, unless they tell you to F off, you still have that prospect. And no one's ever told me, well, some might have, right? But I don't even remember and I don't care. But you need to get to the stage where you have no shame. You're actually trying to help them. Some of us, they say no once and you're scared to go again, not realizing they was at 3 p.m. But if you hit them up another month or a few weeks later, they may be at 6 p.m. Something that I didn't do when I first started is I didn't keep track of the people I spoke to. And you guys that are getting us on freeway calls, you guys that are getting people on the presentations, please, guys, please make sure you are keeping track of the amount of people you're speaking to. Because I didn't do this when I got started. So I was all over the place. I didn't know, I couldn't backtest, right? I couldn't go back and see who's seen what and what stages they're at. So this just comes down ultimately to being organized when it comes to your business. But when it comes to things like free trials or events that are happening or bonuses or discounts, like these are all opportunities for you to go back to the people to expose it because you have the numbers. Like you've spoken, maybe not to enough people, guys, but you've spoken to enough people where you can actually go back and expose it. But because you've only had one exposure and they said no, for someone, whatever reason, you haven't gone back. Mm. So this free trial next week, that's an example for another exposure. All right. 9 p.m. and 7 p.m. calls, right? Melando just did a 7 p.m. call. These are examples for exposures, presentations, right? Office, bringing people to the office, that is an exposure. Right? Someone may have said no. They jumped on a Zoom call. They've had a freeway call. Come to the office. Get another exposure in. Right? Events. Can anyone else tell me another exposure that we could use? Right? 15-minute video. I know you've jumped on a live. I know you've jumped on a live presentation, but I just want to send you a 15-minute video that one of our 100K a month, our $1 million earners, right? Just did a fresh video. Can I send you a quick 15-minute video? I know you came to the office. I know you came to an off whatever it may be, but can I send you a 15-minute video? Right? Savannah exposed over 10 times before she said, yeah. I'm telling you guys, even myself, if Chris didn't follow up with me, I wouldn't probably have got back into the industry. Or I would have joined with someone else, which is even more pain. I did that once as well. I didn't follow up with someone. All of a sudden, I see the guy on a flyer and he's hit a rank. He's hit the same rank as me. And I'm thinking, bro, what do you mean? You said no to me 2 months ago. And he was like, well, they reached out when I was at 9 p.m. Obviously, he didn't say 9 p.m., but you guys get my point. In his life, I'd exposed him at 3. I did the first bit. I did the hardest bit. I followed up at 3 p.m., but I didn't follow up at 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Silver, you see, Silver. I was prospecting Silver for a year. A good year, I was on to Silver. And then all of a sudden, she reached out to me at 9 p.m. Right? I'm telling you guys, this is where now, alongside when people say they just want to focus on trading and they don't want to do the affiliate side, you don't understand how the affiliate side works. Because if you want to understand trading, trading takes years. So does the business. So it's the exact same. It is yin and yang. It is two of the best industries in the world put together because affiliate takes time and so does trading take time. So whilst you're learning to trade, plant the seeds and follow up. Build the business long term. What was it that made the last follow up with Chris made you change your mind? Testimonies. So he hit me up the first time. He said, "Hey, bro, look, I know obviously you jumped out of the industry. What are you doing?" Da, da, da. I said, "Well, I can't remember what I was doing at the time. Right, I was doing something." Then hit me up again. "Hey, bro, let's meet up. Let's go out for a coffee." Obviously, in my head, I know the game. So I'm saying to him, obviously, he's just following up with me. So I'm not gonna. The ego got in the way. I'll be honest with you, right? And that happens for most people. Ego got in the way. I'm thinking like, I know the game. Like he's just following up with me. Cool. And then it came to a point where he kept on following up, but he was making more money. So he used to hit me up and said, "Hey man, look, I just hit 5K a month." Like, and in my previous company, 5K a month was like, oh my days. So he'd hit a rank that I hadn't hit. He'd hit an income that I hadn't hit. So he said, "Oh, look, like I just hit a 5K rank." I said, "Okay, like well done, like good for you." Da, da, da. And then I went to for the meal. These guys showed me receipts of what it is. And then he told me the thing that actually made me said yes was he's still in the business now, Jacob, right? Jacob at the time, he's someone in Ryan's team. He was 16 and he was making 3K a month at the time. And I said, if a 16-year-old that is less qualified than me, less experienced than me, making similar money than me at that time, then a testimony, a success story actually made me said yes. And when I go into some training at the end, I'm going to go in through some objections. I actually go through how testimonies is also an exposure. So anyone that went to Germany, that again is another reason for you to hit up anyone that you spoke to and just talk about Munich. Oh, I went to Munich. It was so crazy. You need to be at the next one in Portugal. Da, 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 da. So for me personally, when Chris got back to me, it was him multiple times. It was me actually now needing an opportunity because I said I need to make some serious money now, right? Because I didn't find a way. I was out at the network marketing for a year and a half and I was making money, but not serious money, right? So his story, his testimony, what he was making actually bought in, made me buy into what it is. Well, we're now here. Does that make sense? He's now got a director in his organization because he followed up. All right. This is just a fundamental thing as well, really and truly. It's all kind of, I don't want to say mind games because mind games is kind of a negative, but it all is down to the fundamental of any time, and I want you guys to write this down. Anytime you speak to someone, right, about potential business happening, please, 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 I would rather you do this than actually go in for the close. Your main objective is to arrange another exposure. Please write that down. Your main objective when you speak to a prospect or you speak to a potential client is to not leave this conversation without knowing when you're going to have another conversation. Anyone I do three-way calls with, I don't put it down because it's not my personal, it's not my list. It's not on my list. They're not on my list. If I get on a three-way call, I'm doing it for you at the end of the day. But if I say to you, look, I did a call with Joey earlier, and the guy said he'll be ready at 4 p.m. or whatever day it was. So in my head, and what you guys should be doing after this call is realizing, okay, let me go in my calendar and put down the day that I'm going to have another exposure. And when it does come to that, there's going to be two reasons or two things you can do, guys, when it comes to getting back to someone when it comes to exposure. So if they said, look, ring me back on the 28th of April, and you ring them back on the 28th of April, don't get crazy if they don't answer. The first thing, like the first problem that could occur is they don't answer the phone. All it is a simple voice note. I wouldn't send a message. I'll send a voice note. Hey, Ida, look, I know you told me to reach out on the 28th of April around 4 p.m. As I've done, I've just done as you said. If you are still serious about having another conversation, please let me know. Either way, no sweat. I know you're busy. Just please, obviously, communicate so I know that there's no confusion here. Be a professional. If you guys moving forward can have, there's amateurs in this game and professionals. I need you guys to start running it. Even if you haven't got one person in your team, you're not making money right now. You're broke right now, right? It's tough times right now. Just act and pretend to be a professional, and eventually it will come into reality. Okay. Think of following up like dating. What you guys are doing is you've just seen I'm comparing it to dating, so I understand where I'm coming from. You've just seen someone that could potentially is very good looking. You guys have gone and you're trying to marry the person on the first exposure. And because they said no to you saying, "Do you want to get married?" You've got mad. When it comes to dating and relationships, I'm not an expert here, right? But I'm sure you go on many, many dates, you go on many, many exposures, you follow up a few times to see whether this person is actually worthy of being your partner. This is the same thing, guys. You need to have many, many exposures to see whether this person is now worthy of being an exposure, because you see potential in this person. You see that this person has this could do the world for them, but they don't know it yet. It's the same. It's the exact same ideology. All right. So, any questions on following up so far, guys? What I would suggest doing, like I said, you got the numbers there, so you know the ratio roughly. But please, just every time you speak to someone, always, whether it be on calendar, whether it be on Calendly, whether it be on Notion, just keep track of the people you spoke to and another date that you're going to have an exposure. Okay. Any other questions right now? So we'll just drop up one if we're good, and if I can continue on to the next bit. Wonderful. Cool. So next, what I want to go through is still following up, but just how to go about when it comes to what to say when, for example, you do want to give another exposure. All right. So didn't mean to do that, right? Let me just get rid of that. Did you lot get that down? Yeah. Let me just clear all of this. Right. I want you guys to, these phrases are probably one of the most powerful phrases in this industry for you guys to always rinse and abuse. Okay. If I, right? If I, that's the first one. Would you, right? So if I, for sure, right? I'm going to break this down. For example, you've spoken to the person, they said it's not for me, they've come with any objection. I'm going to go through some objections as well. But let's just say, for example, if I, so we've spoken to someone, they said it wasn't a great time, even when it was closing. If I was to send you a quick 15-minute video, or I need to think about it, that's the famous saying, right? If I need to think about it. So if I was to send you a 15-minute video from one of my millionaires mentors, would you be able to watch it? All right. That's the first sentence. So if I send it to you now, when would you for sure? Right. So that's what we can put in there. When would you for sure? When would you for sure? This here is the ultimate follow-up phrase, sentence, whatever you want to say, to catch up with someone, to book another meeting, whatever it may be. And even when closing, when it comes to closing, anyone I've had on three-way calls, I said, okay, how many? I asked them questions, whatever it may be. If I was to show you how you could put into this, to input an half an hour or an hour into this business, would you be willing to help me, or would you allow me to help you get started? Yes, I would. So if I got you started now, you came to the office, we gave you a 90-day game plan. Would you be able to come to the office for sure? Whatever scenario, guys, please get you good at using these words. If I, would you? So if I, when would you for sure? All right. Now, when it comes to objections, I just want to touch on objections. Can you guys just write in the chat some objections that you guys get? Put some objections that you guys have gotten in the chat box. All right. What are some of the objections that you guys got? Can't afford it, no money. Need to do research. Money, is it a scam? Is it a research scam? Think about it too much right now. Too much going on. I've heard it all, right? Ultimately, guys, there's two reasons why people have objections. Only two. Only two reasons, believe it or not. I've heard all of what you guys have said. You guys are still going on in the chat box. You lot are mad. Right? Right? There's only two reasons why people have objections. Okay? Oh, let me speak to my partner. I'm going to cover that, right? Right? There's two reasons why people do this. They don't believe in the industry. And secondly, they don't believe they can do it. Limiting belief. So if we go through the list that you guys just spoke about, yeah. Number one is they don't believe in the industry. And number two is they don't believe that they can do it. Right? Let me pray about it. Oh my days. You see, when I get them people there, hmm. I don't think they believe in God when they say that, you know. Real talk, right? Can't afford it yet, right? They don't believe in themselves, right? Time, don't believe in themselves. Money, don't believe in themselves. Don't have enough time, believe in themselves. Research, they don't believe in the industry. Research, they don't believe in the industry. Need to think about it, don't believe in themselves. Got no money, believe in themselves. Limiting beliefs, limiting beliefs. If a scam, industry, is it real? Industry, research, industry. So there's only two reasons why people actually have objections. They don't believe in themselves or they don't believe in the industry. All right. So that famous one when people say they don't want to pray about it. I don't I know I'm not saying that some people don't believe in God, but if you can't surely it doesn't make any I'm not going to get into that, right? Because I'm not trying to insult anyone, I'm not trying to be rude. But for me, that just means you don't really believe in God. You don't really have faith because why on earth would God decline you wanting to make money? Like it makes no sense whatsoever. All right. Now there's one that Loretta said, let me speak to my partner, right? Sammy had this one the other day and it was kind of difficult and those ones are difficult and I'll tell you why. Because if someone says, let me speak to my partner, there's one of two reasons again. Okay, it's either number one, that they are either going to get an ass whooping when because their partner said don't buy anything without me knowing or don't buy anything. So they're actually trying to protect their relationship, right? Or they just don't believe that it will work, or they don't even understand it. That's the only two reasons why. All right. And really and truly, all you have to do is give them the time. You have to actually give them leeway. You have to give them leeway because there's not much you can say. You're actually trying to ruin their relationship because of it. Okay. So when it comes to, for example, handling any of these objections, like I said, we just need to give them time. This is just a formula that I would reckon to use is the first one is you want to listen. We need to become consultants. I need you guys to become consultants. I know we said like you guys have been watching that Wolf of Wall Street. Is that how you spell it? Consultants. I'm not going to embarrass myself. How do I spell it? Consultants. Is that how you spell it? Consultants. Is that how you spell it? Right? You want to become consultants. You don't need to become closers every single time or savage every single time, right? Consultants. Yeah, I got it right. Right? Become consultants. Help them, let them give you an understanding. Anyone that does a freeway call with me, I always ask them 101 questions because I'm genuinely trying to understand their situation. Some of us listen not to understand, but we listen to reply. I'm going to say that again. Some of you ask questions so you can try and catch them out instead of actually listening to see whether they can actually like get an understand. You want them to feel, and you should be really and truly, you want to be on their side. So help me understand. I need to ask if you're saying you don't have half an hour a day, then damn, like, how long have you not had half an hour a day to yourself? Like, come from a genuine standpoint. All right. The first thing you want to do is listen. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to relate. You can use loads of concepts for this, guys. You can use feel felt found where, look, I understand how obviously you haven't got money. I've been in that situation before. And it was kind of tough. I remember looking back where I didn't have the money. I didn't know whether to do this. And really and truly, you probably do have the money because I did. I just didn't know if I can make the money back. People need to understand we're on their side. People need to understand that, you know what? I'm not trying to actually sell to you. This is where you can build the bridge. This is where you can build the relationship. Right, when you allow them to relate some relatability, okay, this person actually knows what I'm talking about or knows what I'm going through, so they kind of probably have my best interest. Next, so this is where now this is what Chris did to me. Stories, testimonies. Okay, I've had a few closures where someone said, oh look, look how many how much how who else makes money, or I need to see other testimonies. So I said, okay, look, FaceTime me, let's share your screen. And I shared the story, I shared testimonies, and most people get started because people just want to hear stories. Tell them about a story. Oh, look, I know a mother as well that's going through certain things and they was able to make money. Or I know someone that got started with no job or no money. And all they did is they did this and they did whatever story. We have so many testimonies, guys, is you want to come with a story. And then again, you want to finish with if I, right? If I would show you, or if I could show you how to get started, if I could show you how, obviously, someone that also didn't have no money and I was able to help them and I was able to give them a 90-day game plan, I could also help them. I really need you guys to study these basic skill sets. Some of us are not going, yes, you've listened to Eric Worre, 7 Steps to Network Marketing Pro. You should at least, If you haven't listened to it at least 25 times, you don't know the information. Has anyone on this call drop a one if you've listened to 7 Steps to Network Marketing 25 times or more? Not many people. The people that have been here the longest and the people that are making the most money in the business. Okay, so before you go on to big things or bigger skill sets, master the basics. Study Eric Worre. Guys, when I got on a freeway call, I didn't have freeway calls, but when I got on the phone with someone and I felt like it didn't go well, the first thing I did, I didn't think this didn't work. I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna delete my Instagram or I'm gonna come off social media, or I'm gonna not become an affiliate. I'm not gonna pay my affiliate pack because someone said no. I went onto YouTube, I studied Eric Worre, and I said how to get better at closing, how to get better at following up, how to get better at prospecting, how to get better. This is a business where if you get better, you make more money. It's not going to get easier. This business is not going to get easier. You get better. That's the only way you're going to make money. So if right now you're struggling and you've been struggling to prospect people, you've been struggling to speak to people in the DMs, you've been struggling to get people on freeway calls, you've been struggling with education, edification, you've been struggling with promoting, you haven't been able to get people on the 9 p.m. Study the skill set. Do some studying. Those that don't have a business, you are your only business right now. When I didn't have a business and I didn't have people in the team, guys, I put all the time into learning skill sets. I became a student. I never was a good student in school, but instead, I know that if I get good at this skill set, I can sit down and I can make a lot of money. I sat down and I studied it. I had the paper in front of me as I'm making phone calls, and I became better at the skill set. Now it's subconscious. This is all on the internet, guys. This is not my information. I'm not the plug here. I'm not the genie. I'm not the guru. But once you do it so many times, and this is why we use our warm prospects and we use our friends and family to make phone calls with, because they're not going to be the people that are going to make you all the money, guys. They're not going to be the people that are going to get you out of your job. Your friend is not going to get you out of your job, guys. Even if they do sign up, they're not going to get you out of your job. If they was, they would have already got you out of your job. So if anything, look at it as, look, let me just try these skill sets. Let me try and implement what I've just learned on people that I know are not going to do it. Like, I know they're not going to sign up. I know they're not going to come in and they're not going to do TikToks. I know they're not going to come in and they're going to jump on Zoom calls. They're not going to study, but let me at least try and practice these skill sets. All right. I need you guys to just hammer this. If you hammer it, I promise you, it's going to be so easy. Most other organizations are not maybe teaching these sort of things. They just say post on TikTok and bring in people. I want to create skilled individuals where wherever you go, whatever business you join, whatever organization you join, you can always make money. Myself, Aaron, Melando, and Sammy, we can go to any industry, any business that involves or network marketing company and make money because we've mastered the basics. Well done if you have been doing TikToks, guys. Well done if you have been doing Instagram. But when you get the prospects, you don't even know what to do with them. Now you're in trouble. You don't know how to deal with them. And the same way, guys, we follow up, please, for anyone obviously that has brought in someone into the business. The same way you follow up with people to get them in the business, please damn make sure you follow up with them when they are in the business. Follow up with them to their success. So you followed up with them to get the money. You got the little commission. They signed up. They're in your back office. Now, don't you dare leave them again. Follow up whilst they're in the business to see their success as well. A lot of people are not doing that. That's when the actual work starts. This is easy. Following up is easy. The work starts when they join now, and you now have to build that relationship. You now have to get production. You have to become a production-based leader. You now have to change them as a person. That is where the work starts. So if we can't do level one, don't you dare worry about going to 1K a month and 2K a month if you can't even follow up with people before they're in the business, guys. All right. So they're the only skills right now. If you're currently unranked, if you're currently not a four no more, and I know there's a lot of you on this call, all you need to study, guys. This is all your time should be doing. I would rather you, right? Of course, you have to do the TikToks and the Instagram to build your brand. After after 5 years, I've gone viral for bloody hell. 5 years it's taken me to go viral. And some of you have been doing it for 5 months and you're crying, or 5 weeks. And you're crying about, I ain't gone viral. 5 years. It's ask Sammy. 5 years it's taken for me to go viral. It doesn't mean I didn't bring in people because we still talk in person and I've still learnt the skill sets. But I would much rather you guys just study how to invite. So you need to get in people in front of the business. You need to get people in front of the presentations. You need to get people down to the office. Get very, very good at inviting. Get very, very good at edification and get very, very good at following up. They are the free skill sets if you are less than a 1K a month earner. Even 700, if you are less than a 700, because this is a 700 factory we're trying to create, we want 20 new 700s within this 90-day run. We're 16 days into the 90-day run, guys, so 2 weeks in. Ask yourself how well you think it's going. Ask yourself if you've been doing the work. Every day you should be putting in work into this, guys. If you're part of the 90-day run and you want to succeed in the next 90 days, every day you should be putting in some sort of work. It takes half an hour tops to do your content. Now, the next hours on your should be going into yourself. It should be making the phone calls. It should be practicing how to invite. It should be practicing how to edify, getting people on three-way calls. It's so simple. We just not doing the work, guys. I know we're not doing the work because it's a results based. It's impossible, guys. Like I'm giving you a promise, like a guarantee. It is impossible for you to study this skill set, get good, and not make money. It's impossible. When you look at it like that, and it's like, okay, all I need to do is just put in the reps. I just need to rep. When I was playing football and you go in the garden or you do training, why do you think footballers train every week? So they can get good at the skill set. When you get good in a skill set, you get paid. This is not just TikTok, guys. We're not influencers. We're not social media influencers. Some of these social media influencers ain't got nothing to give. If their social media collapse, they're in trouble. If their TikTok account or their Instagram account got taken, they're in trouble. Once you learn these skill sets, you can still make money. Put me on the corner, put me on in the shopping center because I have the skill sets in person. All right, guys. So well done to those that have been posting on your social media. Well done to those that have been doing their Instagram. Um, I'm gonna give you guys a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, right? So yes, I have gone viral, but I didn't prepare for going viral. So I didn't have no automation set up, right? Toyosi sent in how you guys can set up automation. I would set it up if I was you. And then when it comes to having your what I do video ready, I didn't have my what I do video ready. And I know I tell you guys, and again, I'm not a perfect leader, I'm not a perfect individual, but I hadn't got my what I do video. So when people are DMing me, I now this is why I have to do presentations. I can accommodate, but if you guys go viral, you're not going to be doing the presentations if you ain't got your what I do. So I can accommodate from yes, I'm like I'm saying, put my hands up. I should have my what I do video done, but because I don't, I now have to do presentations every single day. You guys are not going to do that. So please, if you haven't got your basics done, you haven't done a what I do video, you haven't created an automation, you haven't got a free WhatsApp value chat, please do so, guys. All right. Um, does anyone have any questions? All right. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that I can help them with? What I want you to do quickly in the chat box, can you just write down what your takeaway was from this call? What was your personal takeaway that you said, oh crap, this is what I'm doing, this is what I haven't been doing, this is what I need to focus on. What is your one takeaway that everyone on this call so far has taken? Right? Focus on the basics, timing on following up people. The clock was a great takeaway. Yeah, man. It's once you understand it, you're kind of easy. Like you're not pressed, you're not angry, you can't get upset. Like you can't get you shouldn't get demoralized knowing that someone's at 3 p.m. You really should not get demoralized, guys. If you get demotivated, then your reason why, it's not because a prospect said no. It's not because your friend said no. It's because your reason why isn't strong enough. You're not doing this for a big enough reason. If your reason isn't strong enough, you should not get demoralized. When people said no and people laughed, and do you think I cared? No, because I need to retire my parents. What are you talking about? Right? Following up the basics, following up, tracking everyone, exposures to exposure. I need to go back to the basics, following up. Don't expect people to sign up like that. No shame in following up multiple times. Yep, no shame, Emily. I couldn't give a flying monkeys, honestly. The stages of closing, handling, follow up, follow up, follow up, keep exposing more reasons. And that's why we post, that's why you got to stay relevant. Like you actually have to be relevant. Don't be the person when you're posting on social media, posting on Instagram, and then all of a sudden you want to have a social media break. I get it. You go through life. Some people go through life. Cool. I get it. Fine. Right. But don't do this because what you're basically just showing, guys, is that you're not a consistent, credible individual. People like people that are consistent. If you're not consistent, I'm not going to say yes to you because if I'm inconsistent and now you're inconsistent, then we're both not the best. I want to find someone that's actually on their job. Yes, they're going through stuff in life, but the whole social media don't need to know that as well, guys. Ask yourself this question. When someone comes across your page, if you click on your story, what energy, what image are you giving out? If someone says your name, all right, and they say, I don't know, that Toyosi girl on Instagram, what's the first thing that most people, and I'm not saying this from a standpoint of care what people think, but you should care what your reputation and your brand puts out there. Are you the person that's always negative on social media? Are you the person that's always going through things on social media and you got to let the whole world know? Are you the person that's always complaining? Or just be very, very careful of your branding because it's not attractive and you need to become an attractive brand within this industry for it to work with you. All right. So be very, very careful with what you put out on the internet. Okay. In that sense. Everyone has a time to be ready. Also, da 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 da. Yeah, no just means not right now. All right, guys. So with that being said, unless anyone has any questions, just drop a 111 if we're good to go. We'll have this uploaded on YouTube tonight. And again, what I'm gonna do is before we lock off is I'm gonna expose the next Zoom call. All right. So tomorrow is what day are we in? It's Thursday, right? So tomorrow we have just the presentations at 7 and 9. Um, Friday, anyone that's in West London, we will be going to there's morning mindset as well tomorrow in the morning. Okay, make sure you're on that at 9 a.m. Friday, there is a job center thing going on in Westfield. Don't worry, I haven't deranked. I'm not going for the job. We're going to get people that are lining up in the queues. All right. So if anyone wants to come, you're more than welcome to. What time? I think I need to double check. It's on Friday, so we got. I'll check. I'll check for you guys. 5. Okay, Sammy's on it. Are you sure, Sammy? 5 until when?
I think I